Talk about just that division. It's grown since you started, right? It wasn't 33, 36 cars when you started, right?
Yeah, I think when I started, I think my first couple races, there was maybe like 20 people.
Yeah.
And then that first year in 2018, the Spring Sizzler, I had to run a consi in the heat race.
Damn.
And made it in, so.
For the lights?
Yeah, for the lights.
That might be happening
They had
again this year.
consies?
Yeah.
Yeah, they might have them again.
They should.
Back before they started 40 cars.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a lot, man. That's
Well, let's talk about that. What is your I mean, I know you're moving on from that division, but like, did you like that? Did you wish they went consies, or what was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I wish they went consies. I thought that was a little too many. My thinking was a lot of the cars that were wrecking were the ones towards the back.
In the back.
Yeah.
And it's hard to learn if you're not completing all the laps. So that's why I thought they should have had their own race, especially if you were a little off the pace, running with similar speed
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So that's my take on that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even starting 40, like, there's almost 70 cars on the entry list. Like, if 50 show up, you have to do a consi.
Yeah,
You're not going to have a choice.
I just remember like running under yellow a couple times, and
Right.
we're pacing, and the back of the field is right in front of us.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, they got pretty close to the limit last year. I think
Yeah.
we started 37 at one point.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should cap it at 30. Do 20 car consi.
I like it.
and send people home.
No. Everybody gets to race. You just might not race in the A feature, so to speak.
All right, so real quick, I just looked this up. So you had 12 wins in the division. Did you win every year?
No.
You had a winless season?
Yeah, so 2023 was a winless season, which
Oh, that's right.
which sucked.
Yeah.
Damn, really?
Oh, that's right, because when you won last year, that was a long...
Yeah, it was like a year and a half
Yeah,
since
yeah.
I had won.
Talk about just being persistent and getting through that, because it wasn't like you weren't bringing a fast car to the track.
Yeah.
You just were getting zero breaks at all times.
Yeah, I feel like the SK Light division as a whole didn't really fit my driving style, just with short 20-lap races, having to start towards the back, and you got to be on kill mode from lap one, and that really didn't, not that that's not my driving style, but it didn't really reflect how I wanted to drive.
Right.
And we struggled. We were there. I think we had like 7 second place finishes. Yeah, it was
No,
frustrating.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an insane statistic.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I remember you had a couple podium interviews where you're like, yeah, we'll be back there. One more spot. And then
Yeah.
you finish second
There was
again.
not one more spot.
It's like Bavalaco last year.
Right. Talk to me a little bit about both of them are two of my favorite people, but just talk to me about your dad and your granddad on race day.
Yeah, so they're pretty nervous people, especially my dad. I don't think he was as bad when he was racing, but he's very nervous. My grandfather, he's pacing. It doesn't matter if it's me or my cousin Brian. He's very animated and he's very excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like your grandfather wears it nice with a smile. You can never tell. Your dad, you can instantly tell his brain is just on overload the whole time he's at the racetrack.
Yeah, I'll get like Snapchat videos of like during my race, someone will be taking a video of him and his like leg is tapping and he's like throwing his water bottle and he's a mess.
That's funny.
So I know that you'd raced SK Lights, maybe even probably longer than you wanted to, and part of the reason that you couldn't move up was money, and then you got hooked up with USNE Power. How did that all come about?
Yeah, so I've wanted to move up to the SKs for a while, but unfortunately the funding really wasn't there. So in 2023, we ended up running the fall final. We borrowed a motor from Anthony Flannery, and then we ended up buying that motor from him to run a couple races this past year. And people are like, "Oh, so you're moving up?" I'm like, "No, like I don't. It's just not right time right now." So, someone had talked to me during the season. They're like, "Hey, Dave Miller at USNE, he's a really great guy, and he's interested in sponsoring SK next year. You should get in touch with him." So I got connected with the right people, and they were able to help me out, and we clicked right away. He's a really great guy, and he loves racing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So
That's really the key to it. I remember, I want to say it was Al Stone I had this conversation with years ago about like getting people involved in the sport, and that's the key to it, because there's no return on investment if you are sponsoring people.
Right.
And the key is to find people that just love racing. And if they can get hooked on the sport and they have money, they're gonna want to
what
be
a
a part
prime
of it.
example-
Oh, by the way, this is kind of off topic, but you're back to the 71 for
Yeah.
SKs, right?
Yep, 71.
What was that's a family number?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was the reasoning behind the 7? Like, was it just a similar available number?
Yeah, so we wanted to be the 71, but Pete Lopuch, or I'm not really sure how to pronounce his last name. He would run like one race a year and keep the number 71.
Damn.
He registered that number.
Yeah, so
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of have like seniority
yeah,
to an
so
extent. Yeah,
the first race, the car was lettered 71. We just duct taped the 1.
that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's what we ran with. Changed the font, the number. My dad always had the Bob Pulverary 71 font,
Right.
and I was like, that's not me. So made
Yeah.
my own font, and that's what we're rolling with.
So I just looked. He does have. He's got the number registered again. Yeah, Pete Lapooch.
For what? For SK Light?
Yeah,
It's like a
Yeah.
white and red.
yeah. So I want to go back to the TC shootout. You really grabbed my attention in that race because only 13 make it to the shootout, and you were one of them. And that was that the first time you ran the SK last year?
Second, we ran the 5K.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So now you made it into the 13, and then you didn't go in there and mix things up. But that must have been a pretty good morale booster to make the shootout, no?
Yeah, so going into the year, we had a couple races circled on the calendar that we wanted to do. You know, the 5K, the TC13, and then the last race. So we ran pretty well in the 5K. It got rain shortened. I
That's
think
right. Yep.
We were saving too much tire, and I think we would have been good. But the goal was to make the 13 lap race, and we finished 12th or 13th. And I think something happened, but we were supposed to start on the pole, and I'm like, I'm just having fun. Like I don't really want to be that guy that messes it up for everyone else.
Yeah.
Like I'm just here to learn, so I started in the back, and I think that if we had started up there, I think we would have finished out there because Corner, I was racing him for the spot in the 40 lapper, and then he ended up going out there and winning.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your goals for this year?
Yeah. What? Let's be serious.
yeah, so I'd say my goals are to win Rookie of the Year. I think it's going to be a really good battle. I think both Tyler and I have really different driving styles, but I think over the course of a season, I think it could go either way, right? So obviously that's one of my main goals, just trying to finish all the races. You got to run all the laps to learn, and hopefully get some top fives, maybe a podium or two. And I don't know, maybe it'd be crazy to think we could win a night if all the cards line up.
I think it's possible.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's crazy at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Given
Right.
that how that series races.
Yeah.
I think you ran well,
yeah.
and that may suit you. But that's his division. Is it more laps than the SK Lights?
Yeah, it's 40.
Oh yeah. It's
20
double.
versus 40.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
double.
But dude, that racing in the SKs though
It's cutthroat.
it's cutthroat white knuckle racing.
Now, what is that adjustment for your guys as a team? There's no infield pitting. Now you got to have a crew going out there. So what's making you laugh?
We're not pitting. That says we're not pitting. If we're pitting, it's going to be you behind the wall.
You're out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Like I don't need a pit sign or anything. I just need to find all the people with gray hair,
Yeah.
like hunched over.
Whoa, he's gonna put that out.
No, I mean if we have to pit, obviously we beefed up our pit card again. My dad had a big one, and then we chopped it down to run SK Lights because we didn't really need it.
Yeah.
But now we rebuilt it and have to have a lot.
I
of
mean, you got a
spares.
fast car. You start in third. You get a flat tire on lap 7. You're not coming in and changing that tire.
Yeah,
and
I'm
get the
gonna-
back
gonna
out
fit.
there. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.